So those of you that keep up with comic book news are probably well aware of this story by this point, but it's something that I really wanted to talk about. I wanted to give it a few days to kind of look into a couple things and really come at it from probably a different angle than most people are. There's a lot of people that are pretty upset and outraged about this, but it is the whole Robbi Rodriguez situation. Now, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can check out the article, and I will also link some of the other things that I will be referencing in this video for you guys to check out for yourself. But a comic book artist by the name of Robbi Rodriguez, who is the co-creator of Goddess Mode, which is a comic that's coming out from DC Vertigo. It's going to be written by Zoe Quinn, and the art is going to be done by Robbi Rodriguez. For those of you that read comic books, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with his name because he is also the co-creator of Spider-Gwen and has done some work for Marvel as well. Now, over the course of this weekend, though, at some point, he decided it would be a great idea to send Ethan Van Sciver, who is a 25-year plus veteran of the business, who is probably most well known for his work in DC Comics on things like The Flash Rebirth and the Green Lantern Rebirth comic book series, among others. But those are just naming some standout works of his. Now, he had pictures of what is alleged to be, I guess, Robbi Rodriguez's anus, his butthole. Robbi Rodriguez took a picture of his butthole and literally tweeted it to Ethan Van Sciver, tagged him in the tweet, said that he was a big fan. Then after the fact, these tweets were deleted, and Robbi Rodriguez then claimed that his account was hacked. Now, I have a little bit of a hard time believing this because, of course, the problem with the whole saying that your account was hacked, I would think that if you're going to use that excuse that my account was hacked, it wasn't me, that you would at the very least show some kind of decency towards the person that was receiving these disgusting things, receiving these disgusting pictures that they did not ask for. I would think that you would at the very least apologize to him, although I do understand the logic. Hey, if his account was hacked, he doesn't really need to apologize, but it would be just some kind of common courtesy to be like, hey man, I'm sorry that happened to you. I apologize. That's really gross. It's really reprehensible. I condemn the person that did this. It is not right. You would expect something like that, some kind of statement like that, but really there hasn't been any kind of admonishment of these actions for his account, quote unquote, being hacked. And the thing is, people are looking at this Twitter page and saying, well, it's a parody account. It was a joke, this, that, or the other. Look, I don't know what planet you're from, but I would consider that to be harassment. And I'm pretty sure that DC would consider that to be harassment, considering Robbi Rodriguez is currently working for DC as a freelance artist. Now, there's people that are arguing that, hey, he's a freelance artist, so technically he's not an employee of DC because, he only gets paid to do a contracted amount of work, then he's on his merry little way. I get that, but here's the problem with that. See, DC made an email that they sent out to not only their talent, but freelance creators because of things that were happening on social media back in February. Now, let me go ahead and read that email to you just so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I'll also link it in the description below so you guys can check it out and read the rest of it if you want. And I will also go ahead and post some links to some other articles that verify that this, of course, is from DC. Dear DC talent community, the comic book industry is a very special creative community dedicated to telling epic and legendary stories of action, heroism, and intrigue with a rich, diverse portfolio of characters. Both DC's employees as well as its extended family of freelance talent contribute to our success and are direct reflections of our company, characters, and comics. As such, DC expects that its employees and freelance talent community maintain a high level of professionalism as well as reasonable and respectful behavior when engaging in online activities. Comments that may be considered defamatory, libelous, discriminatory, harassing, hateful, or that incite violence are unacceptable and may result in civil or criminal action. In addition, comments that may be considered insulting, cruel, rude, crass, and mean-spirited are against company policy and guidelines. We ask and expect that you will help to create an online environment that is inclusive, supportive, and safe. Now, having read that, I would think by this point, DC would have made some kind of response, some kind of statement. There's no way that they are not aware of this situation. And really, this is something that was covered in this email. They specifically mentioned freelance talent as well. So you would think that at the very least, if not outright terminating Robbi Rodriguez for these actions, because they clearly at least fall under insulting, harassment, as well as mean-spirited, that they would at the very least take some kind of disciplinary action against him. And that has not happened up to this point. So I don't expect anything to really happen if nothing has happened yet. There hasn't been any kind of word on any kind of immediate action. It looks like they're willing to just sweep this under the rug, which is really unfortunate, because this is the problem with people that do things like this. They are emboldened to continue to do this and continue to harass people that are not asking for things like this to happen to them. Now, had this been a woman, I'm pretty sure people would have lost their minds. People would be yelling from the rooftops for this person to be fired, but that's not happening. I guess it's okay if it happens to a conservative who also happens to be a white man, which is unfortunate. He didn't ask to have pictures like this sent to him. These pictures put in a public space where potentially his kids could have even seen them. You know, you got to take responsibility and accountability for your actions. And Robbi Rodriguez, you really should at this point. At the very least, you should be a decent human being and reach out to Ethan Van Sciver. I don't know what the circumstances were for you to do this. Maybe there was some drugs involved. Maybe there was some alcohol involved. That's no excuse, but at the very least, it would be somewhat understandable if you weren't in your right frame of mind when you did this. And the crazy thing is that there's people that are fans of yours that are defending you, saying this doesn't seem like you at all. But then you went into damage control. You started deleting tweets off your Twitter page. You changed the fact that on there initially you had this, and then all of a sudden it becomes a parody account, almost to kind of cover yourself, you know, to cover your bases here. So what's going on, Robbi Rodriguez? Did you do this or did you not do this? And at the very least, if you didn't do it, will you condemn this? Now, me, look, I'm a Hispanic person. I'm Puerto Rican, of Puerto Rican descent. And to me, seeing other minorities act like this and hide behind the fact that they are a minority, thinking that they're emboldened to do this because they are a minority with no fear of repercussions, is terrible. See, one of the overall points I want to make is this. If you're a person that says that they're for equality, you cannot be about double standards. You have to be willing to also take equal accountability for your actions, despite what race you are, despite what gender you are, and despite what sexual orientation you are. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, I'm John, and that's just my take.